Hello, welcome to my journey to the media world. Today I'm alongside ex-Wolverhampton Wanderers winger Michael Kightly. How are you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, good to see you.
So you joined Wolves off the back of an impressive loan spell and had an instant impact. How easy was it to adapt from non-league to the Championship?
To be honest, I found it pretty easy. I was pretty lucky that I had a good manager and a good set of lads that I came into. I think I wasn't ever under any pressure. I think the expectation at the time of the club wasn't the highest, so I think we were sort of, going under the radar a little bit. So that first little part of me, playing for Wolves was really enjoyable, and the fact that I did adapt so quickly obviously filled me with confidence, and then I just grew from there, really.
Yeah, and your performances helped Wolves to a playoff spot, and you were named runner-up of the season. Was your first campaign what you imagined?
No, definitely not. I thought I'd probably come and I'd be a bit part player. I probably wouldn't play too much. But as I said, I think it was in my second game I scored, and from then really I just felt like I had a lot more confidence. I felt like I could play at that level, and the manager showed a lot of belief in me, which I think helped. And then we went on to have a really good season. Obviously missed out on the playoffs, but I think that season we was expected to probably be sort of down the bottom half of the table, if not sort of getting relegated. And the fact that we finished so high up and got into the playoffs was obviously, a great achievement for that season.
Yeah, you carried your impressive form onto the following season, and this time Wolves were promoted to the Premier League. Is that one of your biggest achievements?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously that season was a special season in my career, and one that I'll always look back on and think that was sort of the proudest moment of my career. I think getting to the Premier League with such a good group of lads, and obviously with the manager that obviously brought me to the club, and just the connection that I had with Wolves as a club, with the fans, with everyone that worked at the club. I think it was a special season, us getting promoted, and as I said, it's one that I'll look back at, now and sort of from years to come, that will be always fond memories and memories that I'll never forget.
Life in the Premier League must have been a battle for you, as you're held back by numerous injuries. Did that affect your confidence in any way?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like when I was out for so long, and then I'd have another knockback, and then I'd come back, I felt like I was never quite the same player. I think I got back to a decent level of where I knew I could get to, but I don't think I was ever 100%. I think sort of that fear of getting injured then is always in your head, in the back of your mind. And also I missed sort of like near enough 2 seasons, which I think those 2 seasons was 2 seasons of sort of building on what I had already done. I think I missed out on those, so I think that definitely affected me physically and also mentally.
Yeah, and do you regret leaving Wolves when you did?
Part of me regrets it, and part of me thinks that it was the right decision at the right time. So as much as I was gutted to leave, and I was, I remember crying when I left the club, and I think that's the only club that I've ever cried about when I've left. So that showed what I thought of the club. But I just felt it was the right decision at that time. I felt the club were going down a different sort of avenue in the manager that they chose to come in. He had new ideas, different people that he wanted to get in, and I just felt that it was the right time for me to move on, and also having the opportunity to stay in the Premier League after missing so much football in the Premier League, being injured. I just felt it was a decision that I couldn't really turn down at that time. But obviously I do have regrets about leaving, and do think, what if I didn't leave, what would have happened? But that's football, and you have to live with those decisions.
You announced your retirement in August, if I'm correct. How's life after football?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it at the minute. I found the last couple of years really frustrating, not just physically, because obviously I'm getting a little bit older, but also mentally, and I just found it was the right decision for me. to just call it a day really, and it's nice to sort of come out of the game for a little bit and sort of look back on what I did achieve. So I'm enjoying that at the minute, and I'm looking forward to sort of the next step of my life really.
Yeah, and finally, what's your predictions for Wolves this season? Obviously, for Nuno, 3 wins in 1 week.
Yeah, I think they started fairly well. I don't think obviously the results reflected on that. I think performances were pretty good anyway before the last week. But obviously the 3 wins in 7 days is massive. Obviously the one at City is huge. But that's what Wolves can do to teams now. I do believe they can go to the big sides and get results. I think they'll have another successful season this season. Obviously they've got Europa League to play with, which is going to be very demanding. So it's going to be a tough season for Wolves, but I think it can be another successful one.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure to speak to you, and thank you for your time.
Cheers, thank you very much. Cheers.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click here to watch them in full. Also, subscribe if you're new, so you can follow my journey into the media world.